My name's Bruce Lockie. I'm a digital learning designer in the southwest of England, and kind of really new to kind of Unity. And so it's like, how can I use kind of Zoe and also the MX Ink pen as a tool to kind of look at immersive learning, and starting simple with a scenario and building it out from there. So it was a little passion project, kind of outside of work, and seeing how I can kind of get an understanding of the tools. Okay, so this is my scenario, which was looking at anaphylaxis training, so looking at using an EpiPen. So um, we're kind of greeted by several pop-ups, which are kind of directing the learner. And as you can see, that we've got as one of our controllers the MX Ink pen, and through the first kind of pop-up, it was telling us to go to the table to pick up the EpiPen. So the the person here is going to kind of move towards the table, and this is going to trigger kind of a proximity and provide us kind of with some information that they're going to be needing to do. So here kind of we can end up seeing that need to pick up the EpiPen, and also it gives kind of advice of how you're going to be administering it. So with an EpiPen is always remember that the blue side is going to be pointing to the sky and the orange to the thigh, and then we're going to get the user to kind of move to the far side of the person experiencing the allergic reaction. So we can see now we've changed kind of the MX Ink pen has now become an EpiPen. So now we've got the EpiPen in the hand is kind of moving over to the far side, and over here then they'll be granted with another pop-up which is telling you information about how to administer the EpiPen. So we've kind of involved kind of the movement, the kind of changing of the controllers, but also kind of sound where we've got the person with the allergic reaction, kind of with some heavy breathing. And when they're going to inject, you'll be able to hear that there's going to be a clicking sound, which we'll kind of have when we're looking at using an EpiPen in real life. And then we need to hold it in there for 3 seconds. And there'll be a vibration and also, like to the controllers, and an audible chime. So looking at the injection now. So there's the click. Just giving it 3 seconds and we can hear an audible chime. So we're kind of knowing that we're being successful here. And the next bit was to kind of move over and we need to phone the emergency services. Again, another proximity trigger looking to pick up the phone to call emergency services and tell somebody is having anaphylaxis. So it was kind of looking at a really kind of nice simple model to kind of stage it and build it up from there. So this has now created another pop-up so we can see that the phone is in the hand, and it gives information about what you should be doing with somebody who is experiencing um, anaphylaxis and you've injected with an EpiPen. So here it's looking about discarding, but now we're going to click the box and it's going to take us to the next stage. So previously we've kind of had knowledge and kind of the information has been given to us. Now we're going to have the same scenario but remove the text boxes. So now they can demonstrate their understanding and their knowledge. So now there's no text boxes available. The controllers have reset themselves to the standard. And so now we're going to move over to the table and the person is going to do it by themselves without any kind of the pop-ups. So here they're going to be moving across, and it's now kind of taking their knowledge that they've gained from the first scenario and looking now to kind of demonstrate their understanding. So here we're kind of having audible chimes to show that they've kind of been successful within the stages. And with the Zoe app, what we've done is we've ended up putting dependencies. So you can't just spin around and pick up the phone and call the emergency services. You've got to go and pick up the EpiPen. You've got to go to the far side. You've got to kind of stick it into the person's, administer it into the person's leg. So again, can pick up the phone. And now we've kind of granted with two different things after we've completed the training. So we know how to do it. We can now practice. So we can use it without instruction, or we could go back with instruction. And so now we can get the person, the trainee, to be able to look at repetition. And so it's kind of one of the things with the program was looking at how we can teach kind of um, skills in a digital way. And so this could be something that we're looking at how we can embed knowledge and understanding so that we could flip the classroom. So that in essence, what we could end up doing is that we could teach people the skills that they're going to be using before they're coming to kind of the practical. And so that we've got people kind of experiencing it. And when they're in that practical situation, they can now start to apply perfectly.